Good morning, everybody. It's Jillian with Jilly Juice, and I wanted to go over why it is that I am a bit more attentive to certain people in the group in different ways. Um, it has taken me about 4 years to figure out people, and to figure out people's intentions. It's taken me 4 years to figure out the type of people that are attracted to this juice and why um, I have to turn my back on at least two out of the three people, or two out of the five people. And so it's I'm always constantly trying to improve and figure out why it is I react the way I do, why it is that I will turn my back on some people, until they can show me and prove to me that they understand the juice and they will be a contributing member that will keep the integrity of the group, not diminish it or turn it into something that I don't want it to turn into. And so there are five types of people that are in my group right now, and I'm weeding out two out of the five people. So one is a contributor slash sharer, a gung-ho person. And there's a few of you guys that I love that are sharing. You're giving a background on what it is your predispositions are. You are just an overall support for the people that are, you know, that don't really know what's going on. It's not like you're trying to help those that don't understand, because I'm not allowing those people that don't understand to really comment because they have to read the book or they have to watch the videos. But you have put out information that has helped people figure out if this juice is for them, giving them the hope, the possibility, everything. And that is like gold. The testimonies, the shares, people that do their videos, people that really give a deep background on what they're going through and what they're dealing with are the best people in my group. Now, I'm not saying that you guys that aren't doing that aren't the best people, but you are the leaders. You're giving people insight to things that people don't have an awareness of because of HIPAA and privacy, and no one wants to give away their idiosyncrasies or their weaknesses, and so they rather hide behind the facade, and so no one knows what's really going on with them. And I don't like that type of person because they have something to hide. And when you have something to hide, it means that that you're going to be untruthful in directly and directly. And I don't like people that are untruthful, that hide behind a facade. I want real ass people, because we are in a life or death situation here with this coronavirus. And if we can't get people to give of themselves, to show people that we are all human, we all have the same systems, and no, you're not going to die if you understand what your body is doing and how you apply the right kind of elements and minerals and nutrients, okay? So there's five types. There's the contributors, sharers, the gung-ho people. There's the supporters. They're the ones that don't say too much about their own background, but they're always supporting. They never question. They never force somebody to justify their position. They are just like, hey, bless you, good job, good job. Always doing this or whatever. Okay, that's fine. I love those types because they're not ready to share of themselves. Maybe they have sensitive jobs. Maybe they have, who knows what the deal is, but they're always supporting. And I have those people on my Facebook. I have them in my group. I love them because they're also just as good, if not better. Not saying they're better, but they're also just as good. But I would love to hear more from them, but they will in their own time. And hopefully they build up to the point where they can contribute with no fear of retribution or retaliation or anyone laughing. Okay? Then we have the analyzers, the superficial supporters. They're always suspecting, they're needing more clarification, kind of like the know-it-alls. They're like, oh, so you have a testimony. Really? So what is this? What is that? Here, let me correct you in this. Let me correct you in that. Anyone that's not me, and I can be the one to correct because I've created this protocol, done a lot of research, and so I've given myself that allowance. But I did give some people that allowance, but it was taken too far, and then it didn't turn into what I wanted. So I've nixed anyone that is a major analyzer, superficial supporter, always suspect, and wanting to correct people and wanting for them to justify. Okay? I don't want analyzers. I want yes men. You know why? Because I've substantiated why you should say yes to this. I don't need someone to debate me. I don't need someone to challenge me. I don't need someone to do anything like that. I want a contributor. I want a supporter, but I don't want an analyzer. I have enough videos, over 500 on YouTube, that you can go and pick and choose whatever area that you have a question in. You can do a search, or you can just go through the videos and see what, or you just watch the damn videos. Okay? So I should have answered most, if not all, of your questions that are on this earth around Jilly Juice and around all the different medical terminology and everything else. So there should be really no reason for anyone wanting more clarification, wanting someone to justify their testimony or give them information that they're not willing to give themselves. I'm weeding the analyzers out. Okay? Then we have the observers. I have a handful of people that are contributing in the group or supporting or, popping their head in and out. There's people that are very silent in the group. They don't say anything. I'm okay with them too. Because if they don't have anything to say to help the group or hurt the group, they're just kind of like this neutral. They're like, 7 pH neutral. Not too extreme on either end because they're not offering anything too extreme. They're just observing. Maybe they're analyzing. Maybe they are a troll. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to figure out if this juice is for them and they're just biding their time. They're wanting to hear somebody say something about a testimony that they can relate to. But I'll tell you this, we're not going to have thousands and thousands of testimonies on every single freaking subject matter as far as symptoms in the Johns Hopkins Journal, okay? So if you're waiting for someone to have a testimony in your area, you're going to be waiting a long time, okay? So there are the observers, which I pay them no mind because they don't give me a reason to interact. So I'm fine. Now, if they've been around for 11 months and I know I have trolls in the group and I see that I haven't really interacted with them in any way, shape, or form, then yeah, I might release them because I have no relationship with them. Even just through because I had the website with all the trolls in there and everyone came from the big group, 60,000 person group way back in 2017. So, I was doing a lot of cleaning of the house, maybe a few that I let back in because I may have made, jumped the gun a little bit on them. So maybe 2 out of like the 30. I haven't heard anything from the 30 people or the 28 people that I released. The fifth person or the fifth type of person is a complainer, the fearful, no accountability. And that's why I've kicked 2 people out. Actually the third person, yesterday was the third person when I went through all my histrionics. Because they're not offering really a background. If you're going to talk about anything about your healing or any symptoms that come up and you're afraid, well, I don't want you in the group if you're afraid. So if you're afraid and you want to question what's going on and you want reassurance, you're already out. What I'm looking for, okay, is I'm not looking for someone to complain. I want someone to acknowledge that they have predispositions they've brought into the group. They have predispositions. They understand that they're going to have to deal with their predispositions and that the juice is an energizing force, no different than when they're out there with heart issues and cardiovascular issues and they're told to stay away from salt or high sodium diet because it's going to energize their weaknesses, okay? And when people aren't healed and sealed or they don't have the salt paired with the right elements, they have to stay away from foods because they have weaknesses. Well, I want someone to acknowledge that those symptoms was the body trying to keep it alive and it had to go through an event or an upset of homeostasis so it can keep it alive. But they realize that if they don't give the body what it needs and they have another event like a heart attack or a stroke, they may not survive it because they don't have the minerals and the nutrients to back that shit up. Because the body is going to continuously try to live, and if you don't give it what it needs, then you will die. DIE, you will die if you do not give your body what it needs, and it has to go through its own defibrillation process. So yes, the other day when I released that one person, she was so afraid that she was going to get a heart attack, and she had swollen fingers, and she had heart palpitations, and she's on medication. So it means that she, in an indirect way, without really saying it, she was acknowledging that she came into the group with predispositions, and she wanted reassurance. Not going to give anybody reassurance. If you come into this group with predispositions, then you know exactly what you have to deal with. And if you don't know that and you come into this group fearful and you don't even give an acknowledgement that you came into this group with predispositions, then you have failed to understand, I will not have you in my group. I will say you are not a candidate. I will not work with you. Not even work with anybody. I just am there to facilitate the support that we give in that is intelligent support. We're not anybody's doctors. We're not your nutritionists. We're not your naturopathic, homeopathic, counselor, therapist. We're none of that. We are a community of people that understand that things didn't work out in the holistic allopathic world, and we have a third option. And if you don't understand the value of this third option, if you don't acknowledge your own weaknesses and your own predispositions, then you will fail to take accountability when your body does go through a healing process, and you will start blaming everybody and their mother. And so this person is trying to friend request people in my group. You will do the juice if you understand it. With or without the group, you will do the juice with or without the group. Because if you understand the value of this juice, how amazing it is, you don't need the group to do it. But those that really feel desperate to get into the group don't need to be in it. Those that are in the group is because it's a privilege, because they understand the process and they want to be around like-minded people and they want to encourage each other. Some people are wise enough to shut the fuck up. Some people are wise enough to be an observer. If they're not sure and they don't understand, they don't say anything. They just watch and observe, watch the videos, and then they make up their own mind. And maybe a year or two down the road, if they survive this coronavirus, they might contribute in a very intelligent way. But no. We got people that are so desperate to be in the group because they want to have a third doctor in their world. They want someone to coddle them. And that's why, I'm not, and that's the thing, way back when the beginning with Kelly Harris, when I was, trying to figure out who I'm going to work with, and Kelly Harris was like, oh yeah, Jillian, you're not the maintenance type of person. Because there are people in the 60,000 person group that wanted me to basically call them like every day or every other day and encourage them. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'll pay you to encourage me. I said, I can't do that. And then Kelly's like, well, I can do that. I'll be the one to encourage people to be that supports the person to do rah, rah, rah. Hey, Marlene, thank you. And that was kind of how, because we came from the allopathic, holistic, learned helplessness world. And so that's the model that we understood, and that's the model we took for a minute, as well as the capitalist model, where we would try to do like the phone banks, and we would be like, creating our own phone bank, and people call in like, oh, I have this, I have that. What do I do for this? What do I do for that? And then we realized that we're not freaking doctors. It's pretty much illegal. You can't do that. And we can't, profess any kind of cures. Not that I was, but the way in which I was articulating about the protocol, I was basically inferencing that this is a cure, and it's not. But when you mention different diagnoses and how the Jilly juice can do this for this diagnosis, that diagnosis, you are basically saying that this is a cure. No, Jilly juice is not a cure. We are a community. We are a community that knows that the allopathic holistic world model doesn't work anymore. Look at the world out there. Look how fucked up the world is out there. Look how many people are having mental illness. Look how many people are dealing with generational disease. Okay? Look at the world around you. That model, the holistic allopathic, is not working. It's not working for me. It's not working for most of you, but some of you are too blind to see it, and you're still going to work in that model until the virus destroys you. Just like Marlene says. The virus is going to wipe out a heap of people. Oh, I know. Marlene, I'm very aware of that. And so it's either you understand this juice or you don't. Okay? So good morning, Tiffany. So anyways, so there are 5 types of people, and either you understand this information or you don't. But, Then I graduated. Then I graduated from well, not even graduate. This would I got tired of just reassuring people. I got tired of it. Oh, I'm having this symptom, I'm having that symptom. Okay, big freaking whoop. You've been dealing with those symptoms for your whole life. You can't deal with it a little bit more and see if you can actually, reverse the situation and regenerate your cells from the ground up. Da, 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 da. Here's the substantiation. So I got tired of just fielding the same questions, the same complaints, the same weaknesses. I just got tired of it. And those that aren't hitting the juice that hard, and they are in the empath world, didn't like the fact that I was being a hard ass to those that didn't get it. I can't make anybody get this information. If I can't get even what was my inner circle to get this information, to just do it, stop analyzing it, stop trying to make it better, stop trying to change it, not evolve with it. If I can't get even certain people in my inner circle to do that, what makes you think I can get somebody that is barely even on the freaking protocol to even understand this information? So that I got tired of dealing with that. And you realize that learned helplessness is so pervasive that it's like only a handful of people will snap themselves out of learned helplessness and fear and retaliation and bullyism and retribution. Only a handful of people will pull themselves out of that. Only a handful of people will see the system for what it is and will work with it, but know what to contribute to what's the system and what to take themselves out of the system. Because there's certain things in the system you don't have to participate in, but you do because that's all you know. And then you wonder why you're spiraling down. Oh, I'm going to go to the doctor 500 times a day. Oh, I'm going to the doctor for this and I'm going to the doctor for that. Well, are you getting any better? Every time you go to the doctor, are you getting any better? No. But why do you keep going to the doctor? Because that's all you know. Because it's easier to blame the doctor and say, oh, it's my meds, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, than to actually take full responsibility. And so the whole thing with the J-Juice community is people who take personal responsibility. They're observers, they're supporters, they're contributors, but they're taking responsibility. And that's it. The analyzers and the complainers are gone. The analyzers, and that's why I've unfollowed a lot of you, because you still are circling and cycling in the same bullshit. I see the same kind of posts. Oh, my mom did this. Oh, the New World Order did that. Oh, the government did this. Oh, the government did that. I mean, I see a lot of you looping. And some of you are saying, okay, I'm not going to loop in the negative. I'm just going to be all positive, and that's it. I'm going to be all positive. And that's another imbalance, another extreme. And I'm like, yeah, you're so positive, but you're dying from cancer, disease, and chronic illness. How positive can you be? Why don't you own up to the fact that you actually have contributed to your own demise, and what are you going to do about it? Oh no, they don't want to do anything about it. It's easier to just pretend like it doesn't exist. Okay? So, and Marlene goes, I've been taking JJ for a week right now, my beautiful lady. At the beginning, I was scared of the salt, but right now I get it. Yeah. Oh, I'm very happy. I'm very happy, Marlene. And, and that's one of the biggest battles. And then changing from the pink salt to the white salt. Oh my God, you would have seen people's head explode. Like just going from that end to that end. Oh my God. But that's the thing about the why I'm the way I am. So, if anyone is going to contribute and talk about their healing, that's the thing. It's like no one is going to complain in my group. I see, that's why I kicked out that one person, is because she didn't write the post, but she had a comment under a post. What do I do? My hands are swollen. What do I do? I have heart palpitations. Go to your doctor. Go to your doctor. Where's your acknowledgement that you have predispositions? Oh, no acknowledgement there. None there. Have you watched the videos? Have you read even my first book? See, that's what annoys me, is those that want to complain but have no acknowledgement, no accountability for what they brought to the table. But they're so quick to be so scared, so quick to be like, yeah, oh my God, this is going to kill me in their most indirect way. Okay? No. Because the J juice is not poisonous. The J juice is a probiotic. The J juice has micro and macronutrition. The J juice, yes, it has white salt. The J juice is going to energize your body and is paired with the right elements. And I've substantiated all of that. And so at this point, I have nothing left for people that don't get it. Nothing left. Nothing. Like, I have absolutely no sympathy. I really don't. And it sucks that I don't. But you know what? You've had all this time. How much more are you going to suck the life out of people around you? Either you do it or you don't. So Christina Morris and Pip and other people and John and all that stuff, they are going to be the example for their family. So I'm really wanting only a handful of people that I know are doing it, because it's going to translate. They're going to be showing their friends and family what the outcome is. I mean, John says, all my family juice, they know how good it is just by watching me. Yeah. See, John is an example. Pip is an example. Christina Morris is an example. Brigitte is an example. And so what's going to happen is people are going to catch on. So those are the people that I cater to 100%. I don't cater to the strangers. I don't give a shit about the strangers. Either they get on or they don't. Okay? I don't need to have 5,000 people in my group. I'm not trying to be popular. I want results, and they have to be quick, effective, and it has to be strategic. Why would you throw everything at the wall and see what sticks? That was in the beginning, when I was trying to get everybody to at least be okay and comfortable with this. Finally, everyone settled on the pink salt, the cabbage, and the juice. I got it tested and all that stuff. Okay? And then after 4 years, and then we have this damn coronavirus. Okay? Then we changed, we had to be more aggressive, because the pink salt, people plateaued on the pink salt. Now we had to go to the white salt. And now we're going to see exponential healing, which means that, yeah, you're going to see exponential upgrades. If you can't handle exponential upgrades, then maybe you need to go back to your doctor and try your luck with the coronavirus and see how you fare. You don't need the juice to do the protocol, because all my information is for free. If you value your life, and yeah, you may have made a misstep because you're so fearful in my group and I kicked you out because I'm not dealing with that, you'll do the juice. You'll do the juice. And you don't need the group to do the juice. Don't be friend requesting everybody thinking that they're going to be this support for you. No, either you support yourself or you go back into the system and compete with everybody else out there. I mean, it's pretty crazy. But, I still have lines of communication open. I still have email. Those that I've blocked on Facebook, those that I've basically, banned from my page, they can't comment because they're freaking spamming my page going, oh my God, why'd you kick me out? Why'd you do this? Why don't you do the juice? Actually do it. You have how to do it. The recipe is there. It's on my YouTube. I didn't block anyone from YouTube. And you do the juice. You send me a testimony. Send me some kind of picture that you're doing it. Maybe you own up to where you went wrong somewhere. Maybe I might unblock you. Maybe I might let you back in the group. Maybe. But you got to be doing the juice. And you have to give a background. We're not playing the HIPAA privacy. No, the HIPAA privacy is what got us into this issue to begin with, because we couldn't compare notes. Oh, I don't want people to know that I have these viruses, this and that. No. The HIPAA privacy has got us into this issue to begin with, because none of us, lay people, were comparing the right notes. We gave all of our power away to the system. We had no power of knowledge and data for ourselves. Awesome, John. You should see how healthy and sociable my son has been since the juice. He's like a thoroughbred. I believe it. But that's the power of my group, is that there is no hiding behind your computer. There is no hiding behind your analysis, your creativity. I had a lot of creative types coming into the group, hiding behind their creativity. Okay? Wanting to change the protocol to fit their agenda. Finally, I had to release the one that was next to me, and I'm sorry I had to. Maybe one day he'll do the juice, really do it, and actually have a testimony to offer to everybody. But I don't see that happening, because he had ample time to really give us a great testimony, and he hasn't done it yet. And I don't think he ever will. I mean, I hope he does, but I won't be around to see it. He can send me an email and do it on YouTube. But I have yet to see some people who are nearest me give me really something that you guys can work with. And so that's what I'm looking for, is something real, something from the heart, where you kind of risk a little bit, sticking your neck out. And I share all testimonies, even though it looks like, oh my God, Jillian's killing this person. No, didn't a person die or not die? Didn't a person get a stroke from your stuff, Jillian? And I'm banning them off my business page. And yeah, they survived the stroke because they were on the Jilly juice. If you have weaknesses and you have predispositions in your cardiovascular system and you have blockages, and then you do the juice and the body's able to now finally heal and be able to repair, you'll survive all of your different symptoms, and then eventually you'll never have them again, God willing, if you stay on the juice. But those that die from heart attacks and strokes, aneurysms, because the body didn't have enough backup to support them through that defibrillation process, because that's what strokes and heart attacks are. It's a defibrillation, okay? And some people can get defibrillated and they don't survive the defibrillation. Have you ever seen someone where they have those things go 1, 2, 3 and whatever, and they don't survive it? Because they didn't have enough of what it took to be able to get that defibrillator to work for them. That's the same thing when somebody doesn't survive a heart attack or stroke, because they didn't have enough. So the fact that lady on Dr. Phil was able to walk on that stage or ride in her little wheelchair for effect, and blame the J juice for her predispositions. The fact that she's still alive that day, she's still alive today, I have no idea. But the fact that she was alive that day was a testament that the juice gave her enough juice to make her complain about me and prop up the agenda of the holistic allopathic world. Because that's who I was up against when I was on Dr. Phil. Dr. Yaodim, the holistic people selling their pills, powders, and supplements. Dr. Phil selling his procedures. He's not even a real doctor. He's a psychologist. Okay? So, didn't have enough chloride receptors. Yeah, absolutely, John. Absolutely. So anyone saying that J juice did this to them, anyone say, that's what pissed me off yesterday, was that girl was like, oh, I hope I don't get a heart attack. That's when I cut her off. Okay? You get yourself well, Marlene. I'm not getting anybody well. I'm not your doctor. I'm not anybody's doctor. If you understand the information as far as the probiotics, the cabbage and kale, the what else? The water, the micro and macro nutrition and all of that, it's not about me getting you well. I'm not doing this for you. I'm not making you take this. I'm not giving you an injection. I'm not giving you a pill. I gave you a recipe and I gave you information. That's all I did. I'm not doing anything for you that you can't do for yourself. We changed the pink salt to the white salt. We don't have a diet. You have to then measure your tolerance to food during the process through mucus. And that's pretty much it. We don't have any discrimination. We don't play that's GMO, that's this, that's that. No, we don't play any of that, because everything is minerals. When someone says like, oh yeah, you look at the grocery store and look what's left behind, all the produce left behind, and all the sausages and the processed foods and all that stuff is taken off the shelf. Yeah, because it lasts longer, but you still can get nutritional benefit from processed food. Those that have weaknesses will have to stick to a very limited conservative diet. until their body is advanced enough to take on the advanced data packs out there and then know how to measure how much or how little to eat based upon mucus. But no, we are not playing discrimination game. We're not playing the vegan and vegetarian game. Love you too, Marlene. And we're not playing the, we're going to demonize fluoride. We're going to demonize GMO. We're going to demonize anything. We're going to demonize this. I mean, we're not playing that game. If they make you do mandatory vaccinations, I would do it, and then I would do the J juice, and my body would upgrade. So there is no fear of the system. There's no fear of the medical establishment that's trying to figure out this damn virus. There's no fear of anything. But if you are fearful, it's because you have a lack of understanding. And if you have a lack of understanding, then why the fuck are you doing the juice? That's what trips me out. Is those that are fearful of doing the juice, why the hell are you doing it if you don't understand it? Why are you giving it to your kid if you don't understand it? That's why we are in the position that we're in. And Elena says, me and my husband have been drinking the juice for about 10 months now. We feel it cleanses mentally, and I love the fact that it gives our bodies the nutrition it needs. I bless the day that I found it. Awesome. Oh my God. And I feel rejuvenated. See, that's what's awesome. That's a great testimony. That's something that people can work from. People can't work from fear and retribution and bullyism. People don't work well from discrimination. If you're still in the discrimination world and you're selling discrimination, then you're not really contributing in a wise way. You're selling fear. I sell fear with a solution that is substantiated by science. Everything in my new book, okay, is substantiated by science, substantiated by PubMed, by the National Institute of Health, by biotech. Well, biotech is so important. No, biotech finds intermediaries. They find ways to shortcut stuff to kind of prolong your life relative to what could have been. But it's not forever. It's only a temporary thing. So what would happen if you took probiotics and you matched it with micro and macronutrition, with cabbage and water, and then you had salt with it, and you had water, and then you had a regular diet? What could you achieve from that? Oh, but biotech would only isolate the probiotics, but take away the cabbage and the kale and the water and the salt. So then you have lactic acidosis if you take too much probiotics, but not enough of the other elements that are along with the Jilly juice. See, that's what's wrong with biotech, is they isolate the elements and they try to manipulate your system to where, yeah, it could give you some relief. It could give you a little bit of longevity relative to your predispositions. But if you keep taking ibuprofen and Advil, if you keep taking your probiotic supplements, if you keep taking apple cider vinegar and all that stuff, guess what? You're going to have lactic acidosis, and you're going to have, too many antibodies clogging your heart, clogging your blood, and then you could have a heart attack and not survive it if you don't have enough what it takes to carry you through, if you don't have enough if the defibrillation process didn't work for you. Because that's what a heart attack and stroke is. It's the body's own defibrillation process. That's why you do the J juice, so you release the excess antibodies. That's why you have the probiotics, because it gives you the bacteria, part of your microbiome, because you have imbalances in your microbiome, and you have imbalances in your biochemistry, your fatty acids, amino acids, prohormones, and minerals. You have imbalances in your parasites, your protozoa, your bacteria, fungi, viruses, proteins. Maybe you have anomalous proteins that are replicating. Those are called cancer cells. When they take over, you're fucked. So how are you going to balance all out? You balance it with the right chemistry. That's aligned with the biochemistry. That's aligned with biodiversity. You're a halophile. You came from the freaking sea. You came from freaking salt water. And then guess what? Your environment, the microbiome of the environment built you up. That's why kids have pinworms until they don't have pinworms anymore. That's why you have parasites, even when you're still alive. People who are obese have a lot of parasites. You know why? Because they have too much crap in their body, and those parasites are composting it, making you to absorb the nutrition. But then when you do the J juice, those excess parasites that were your intermediaries, like your doctors, they get released. And now you're able to function on your own. But you have to deal with, and here's the thing with the J juice, the old J juice, those of you that had eczema and psoriasis, and you're doing the J juice, got a real major flare up. Well, yeah, the old J juice had the freaking pink salt. The pink salt created a lot more yeast. It still gave people clarity. It still gave people benefit, and they still were able to reverse their stuff. But they had to go through a lot to get to the end result. So with the white salt, you're not going to have the same characteristics. I mean, you might because you have eczema and psoriasis, but the thing with eczema and psoriasis, it's like a fungal infection, bacterial infection. Okay, so if you are feeding the yeast, then yeah, and you upset your homeostasis and you have all those heavy metals that are in the pink salt, it may flare up your eczema and psoriasis. But so try the J juice with the white salt. It may not flare up your eczema and psoriasis. It may flare up for a minute, but then it'll just disappear. Who the hell knows? But you have to try it, the new recipe, so you can see what it can do for you. Okay, the old recipe was great because it gave people a sense of security because it was the healthier salt. Why was it the healthier salt? Because it was less sodium. Because the system knows that you guys have so many predispositions. And then guess what? You're seeing it out there. The coronavirus is capitalizing all of you guys and your predispositions. So that's why the industry wants people to have less sodium, because they don't want you guys to be experiencing all of your idiosyncrasies too fast, too soon, because you'll all be scared and you'll all be taking all these drugs. So say, okay, if you have a cardiovascular issue, you have a blood issue, or a circulatory issue, then, we're going to have you stay low on the salt, but you still need some salt because you don't want to be inert and be completely non-moving. And that's the same thing with the whole thing with the economy. If we can't keep people quarantined for the next 15 days, okay? If we can't keep people quarantined for the next 15 days, we can't let this economy go to shit. Because if there is no economy and there is no, stuff, no trucks moving, guess what? It's like you're on a low sodium diet. Economy stops moving, the heart stops beating. That's basically what's going on. If you don't get the energizing force paired with the cabbage and the kale and the water, then eventually, you're gonna give out. Your body's gonna give out. You need to go outside, sugar? Go see daddy. Hold on. Come on, sugar. Go get daddy. So, so do the white salt, and it tastes better. It's cleaner. So I mean, there's no reason why you wouldn't do the white salt with the J juice. And then Marlene goes, can't eat or drink very much. Had cancer 6 years ago because I had cancer of the oesophagus and had it taken away. Right now I can only eat very small amounts, so I have trouble drinking much water, but I will try to drink. You don't need to try. You just do little bits. You do little bits, okay? There's no trying. Either you do or you don't, Marlene. There's no try. You do or you don't, okay? And then John goes, flaring again more with the white would be a good sign. Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely, it would be. But, we're not trying to, the whole thing with the pink salt, it could have been feeding the fungus. So who knows? Some people would have certain kind of reactions from the pink salt because of the fungal issues that they have. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's I haven't heard anybody's testimony when they comparing the pink salt to the white salt and how it affected their eczema and psoriasis. But I would say that if, no matter what, you're going to have to deal with your predispositions, no matter what, because right now the coronavirus is energizing people's weaknesses. And so those that have weaknesses in their mouth, in their face, in any part of their body, and they're exposed to the virus, that virus is trying to upgrade them and their body is not being given what it needs. And then that's when the antibodies start developing very fast. People drown in their own fluids because they don't have a very active digestive lymphatic system to release the excess. See, that's what the problem is people don't have enough of the right chemistry in their body for the immune system to release the excess. Because yeah, you can produce all the antibodies you want, unless you're taking an immunotherapy where they're suppressing your immune system, which is also another horrible thing. But, when you're not taking immune suppressing drugs and you're exposed to a virus and you have a stagnation in your filtration process, guess what? You'll have an accumulation of antibodies that will eventually clog up your arteries and capillaries, and you'll drown in your own fluids. Okay? So that's the two extremes on each end, where you suppress your immune system, where you're open to everything, and then your body dies because it's not getting, it's basically being attacked and being destroyed with no intermediary like antibodies and natural killer cells. Or you are allowing the body to produce all these natural killer cells and antibodies, but you're not releasing the excess, and so then you drown and you die in your own antibody accumulation. Okay, so those are the two extremes when it comes to this virus. Yeah, absolutely, John. But you can use the J juice. The salt is the energizing force, John. The salt is the energizing force. That's why we don't do exercise. Now you can do that's fine if a person can't jump up and down, then they're gonna have to do the salt with the J juice. Some people have the ability to jump up and down. Some people are stuck in a wheelchair or stuck in bed or can't move because they're very obese. So that's not always the answer. So that's why the salt is the energizing force to be able to energize the systems. And it has to be paired with the cabbage and the kale and the probiotics. Okay. So, because right now athletes, like you saw the picture on my Facebook, how this athlete suffered the most horrendous virus. He doesn't know what it is yet. He knows it's influenza A or B or the coronavirus. And it's attacking his lungs. Well, athletes put so much duress on their body. The athletes put so much duress on their body that they're going to be susceptible to all of this. Believe me, athletes are not healthy. Weightlifters, athletes, joggers, runners, bicyclists, not healthy. Workout queens, workout kings, not healthy. They will be affected by this. Some will survive, some won't. Some have allowed their body to go to such crap because of their background, their athletic background, that they won't survive this. No different than the vegans and vegetarians. So, the best thing you can do, the government has given you guys a freaking gift. The government has given you a gift to sit your ass at home, quarantine yourself, drink the J juice, energize your 11 different systems. You're pairing it with the cabbage and the kale. My dog is barking at me. Pairing it with the cabbage and the kale and the water and the white salt. And you just sit home, watch Netflix, heal, go through the healing process. If you want to send me an email, right, John, if you want to send me an email, if I've blocked you from the group, if I've blocked you from anything, then you do the juice, send me an email with your testimony and your acknowledgement that you have predispositions, that the J juice didn't do anything to you, because it didn't. Oh, my dog. Come on, sugar. And you be accountable. Okay? But yeah, so I weed out the analyzers. I weed out the superficial supporters. I weed out the complainers in my group. I weed them out. So the only ones I want in the group are contributors, sharers, gung-ho people, absolutely supporters, and observers. If you don't say anything in my group, I'm okay with that. But you're not going to be an analyzer, and you're not going to be a complainer. Analyzers and complainers are out of my group, off my page. Now, if you have like a question about the water, okay, fine. There's certain questions I don't mind. But when it comes to the healing process and your predispositions, that's a very sensitive subject that I'm not going to entertain too much unless I know that you're taking personal accountability and that you've acknowledged that you understand what you're going to be up against. Okay? So I have to make this very strategic in how I conduct my group. I have to. Because remember, that 60,000 person group was too much. I don't want to have to moderate anybody. I don't want to have to chase after anybody. I'm not anybody's babysitter. Y'all should be able to self-moderate. If you can't self-moderate, then you belong in a system where you need a babysitter and a mommy and daddy to tell you what to do and when to do it. J-Juicy is not the place for you guys to have mommy and daddy tell you what to do and when to do it. That's why you have doctors. That's why you have naturopaths. That's why you have therapists. So they can tell you what to do and when to do it. Not the J-Juice world. You do it, you make the juice because you can't mess up. You show us. Hey, if it looks too thick, we'll tell you, hey, lay off on the cabbage and kale. It looks too thick. Try to have 25% cabbage and kale and 75% water and salt. Okay, perfect. But at least you did it. You attempted it, even when you weren't sure. That's how I know that you're a candidate for the protocol or in my group, because you're willing to attempt something that maybe seemed kind of like, But remember, I had no support in the beginning. I had nobody except for myself to go and test things out and experiment. That's the kind of people I want my group of, people who are not afraid to experiment with things that are very, very easy and safe. Cabbage, water, salt, a blender. You can't get any safer than that. If you don't have a blender, cut it up. Hey, if it's kale, I use all of the cabbage, all of the kale. I use the stalks, I use the leaves, I use it all. Now, do I want to grow? I can maybe see if I can grow cabbage from toothpicks. But the kind of people I want in my group are people who are not afraid, who are not afraid to experiment, who are not afraid to just sit on the couch, watch Netflix or watch a fire, drink the J juice, and heal and upgrade, and basically align their body, mind, and spirit. So you're not projecting death and saying that you want to live. Oh yeah, people should die, but I want to live. Oh, I should die someday, but I want to live. See, that's the disconnect that we deal with in our society. So people who promote death and justify it, celebrate it, and then they say, oh, I want to live. Oh my God, Julie, you're killing everybody. But yet they promote death. They promote all the things that are completely anti-life. They promote the antibiotics, the anti-inflammatories, the antimicrobials, the anti-parasites, the anti-inflammatories. They promote all the anti-life things, but yet they want to live. That's the disconnect that we live with in our society that I'm trying to get away from. Okay? So the J juice is born from a person that's from the Generation X. I was on my own a lot as a kid. Parents were both working. So I knew I had to go home, do my homework, turn on the alarm, sit in my room, listen to records, or do my homework. Dad would come home, eat dinner, watch some TV, and then go to bed, start out and do it every morning, the same thing every day. I've been at my home for the last 4 years, every day for the most part. Sporadic traveling, didn't travel too far, didn't travel too wide. But I've been home perfecting this protocol for not only myself, but for all of you, because I knew that I had something that you guys deserve to have peace in your life. You deserve to live. You deserve not to live in fear. You deserve to know that you don't have to repeat history. And the government doesn't want to repeat history. They're not trying to kill you guys. What they're trying to do is we have so many people on this earth that are so imbalanced, they're not willing to take personal accountability that they're tired of carrying them. Well, that's a justifiable freaking reason. So why don't you beat the system? Beat whatever attempts of population control. Yeah. The strong will survive. They just turn the volume up on Mother Nature. They turn the hand of time way up, and you can fight it and slow it down through your internal universe, or you succumb to it. The choice is yours. So anyways, I'm gonna go, but yeah. So just understand that I have an idea now of what I want and how I want people to introduce themselves and how I want them to characterize their situation. And if you are fearful of the protocol and you're afraid of anything that you've brought to the table, you're not a candidate for my group. And if you are going to give a testimony in some way, shape, or form, that's great. Give a background. But but yeah, you know, what I want from people, because this is the thing, is it's such a conundrum. Like the complainers and the ones that are fearful of the protocol are not going to give their background. Because if you're going to complain and be fearful of the healing and the upgrading, you're not going to really naturally take acknowledgement or accountability for your own predispositions because you want somebody to reassure you that everything's going to be okay. It may not be okay because you may just get off the protocol, go back into the system, and you'll die from the coronavirus. It may not be okay at all. So I'm not going to tell you it's going to be okay. You tell yourself it's going to be okay. No one in my group is going to reassure anybody whether or not they're going to survive the J juice or survive the coronavirus. That's not the point of the J juice. You tell yourself it's going to be okay because you have the power. That's it. I'm done. Be relentless. Bye.